Hi, I'm Lydia Fleming, and the book I'm going to be talking about is Emotions Revealed, Recognizing Faces and Feelings to Improve Communication and Emotional Life. This book, written by Dr. Paul Ekman, shares Ekman's views and copious studies on the emotions of human people and how they can be shown and developed within the face. This book, although full of lots of information, can be broken down into three main sections. These three sections are our own emotions with the appraisal process, the acquiring of universal themes, and how to spot different emotions and emotional features in people simply using their face. So as stated earlier, the first main idea brought to attention is how and if universal themes are actually acquired. A universal theme is a pattern in facial expressions to fit a certain emotion. For example, smiling when you're happy or frowning when you're sad. A large part of Ekman's findings through this search for the answer was that many emotions between cultures were the same, but the difference was their display rules. Culturally, display rules are socially learned rules about the management of certain facial expressions, such as who can show what emotion and when they can show it. Ekman, along with other people, as expressed later on in the book, believed that facial expressions were innate or naturally held, no matter what the culture. So many people had mixed ideas on this, he decided to test it himself. His hypothesis was supported by the study he had done when he aimed to test both American and Japanese people. First, he showed the people a video of a surgery while they were by themselves. Next, they were shown another surgery, but there was a researcher or a scientist sitting next to them in the room, so they were not alone. The results of this study had shown that when alone, both sets of people showed around the same facial expression and emotion, but when in a room with other people, the Japanese covered up their emotions more by smiling, while the Americans didn't really try to cover it up. Although he did get some answers, he wanted more, so Ekman went to Papua New Guinea to research. To do this, he told the native people to make up a story based on a facial expression they were assigned, as this correlated to what we as Americans would say the emotion was shown in the picture that he told them to make the story up about. Whether it was fear or happiness, as the story could either be scary or happy. This helps support the idea that emotion through facial expression may be universal, although he still admitted to researching further in his career. So the second big idea in the book is how we actually develop and receive these quick emotions that can help save our lives. To receive these rapid emotions, everybody holds automatic appraisal mechanisms, or auto-appraisals for short. The auto-appraisals are constantly searching and scanning the world and what is around us. When they detect that something important is about to happen, mainly for survival purposes, they can act, in which they can trigger an emotion or response without us actually knowing it. An example shared in the book is this happening during a near-miss car accident. Picture you are driving and you see a car coming straight towards you at an alarmingly fast speed. Without even thinking about it, you would try and turn the wheel away from the car as to not hit it or slam on the brakes. This is much like these auto-appraisals, as they act without you actually realizing or recognizing the situation. The fear from almost getting hit saves you from actually getting hit, meaning the auto-appraisals work for your survival. With these auto-appraisals comes a refractory period. In emotion, a refractory period is the amount of time after the initial emotion was felt and how long it takes for someone to go back to normal. For example, after the hypothetical almost car accident, it may take someone 15 to 20 seconds to slow down their heartbeat to normal again and slow their breathing. This is a short refractory period, or brief. The longer the refractory period is, something that can not automatically be shown as harmless, such as fear or a phobia that one may have, the refractory period will be much longer because they can't stop themselves from feeling that emotion, even if they don't recognize that it's happening. Lastly, the third big idea is how to see others' emotions. Just like in the study Ekman had done in Papua New Guinea, people are able to tell the emotions others are feeling simply by looking at them. But do we know all the tells? The main thing Ekman said people look at is the muscle movements, or the lack thereof. In most situations, watching how the muscles contract and change can help someone see the expression closer. One example of this is when someone is fake smiling or not fake smiling, real smiling. In a real smile, muscles under the eye will be scrunched up, the eyebrows will be lower on the face, and the cheeks will be higher up. This can actually help someone see if another person is happy or not, making it easier to see what the actual emotion or thought in the situation is. Another example he researched and studied was sadness. It is usually told by the V shape made in the eyebrows and the muscles surrounding it. To also help them demonstrate this, Ekman tried to evoke different emotions in the people in Papua New Guinea, such as amusement or surprise, and capture their genuine expressions on a camera. And their expressions would be genuine because they don't know what a camera is, so they wouldn't change it based on them knowing that they're being recorded, because they wouldn't know that they were being recorded. The expressions captured were very closely related to the ones he had found in earlier studies he had done, showing the significance of being able to read other people and what they are feeling. I believe knowing all the information one can obtain in the book helps you understand people a lot more. Being able to read and know when someone is actually sad or when they are happy can really help someone emotionally and mentally. In general, understanding how people would feel and react in different situations and what would trigger negative emotional thoughts makes it easier to lead that person away from a situation that can be toxic to them or other people. From a broader aspect, having more knowledge on people globally can make it easier to support others and encourage more stability between different places. If we were to not know anything about how other people cope with situations or how they're handling different scenarios with their emotions, being able to stand behind them or others could be much more difficult. This book gives the reader a perspective they may not have realized before, making them more open to others' emotions and thought processes. The first quote I found to be really important in the book is, "Over the course of our lives, we encounter many specific events that we can learn to interpret in such a way as to frighten, anger, disgust, surprise, or please us," to expand on what the autopraisers are alert to. They are not the same for all people, but vary with what each experiences. I thought this quote was pretty cool due to the fact that it acknowledges that not all people are the same. The way we experience different situations and life as a whole can help us to become the people we are today and hold the emotions as we have today. Recognizing that not everybody is the same, it makes us more open to accept other people and their different thoughts. The second quote I really enjoyed was, "Emotions change how we see the world and how we interpret the actions of others. We do not seek to challenge why we are feeling a particular emotion, instead we seek to confirm it." This quote perfectly explains what Ekman is trying to do, and in general, what everybody is trying to do. Society as a whole continues to try and look for ways to support their feelings, while no one tries to figure out why they're actually feeling that way. This book makes it kind of open to figure out why we're feeling this way and how to help ourselves lead better lives by being able to control our emotions and kind of determine which ones we need in which situations.